City of Needles will come to order. Executive session report by City Attorney John Pinckney.
Excuse me. So the report out from closed session is as follows. Item B was a discussion by the NPUA and council. It was conference with legal counsel regarding potential litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 D2 and/or 3 and/or 4, one potential case adverse to Rio Buena Vista HOA. There was no reportable action taken on that item. And then item C was conference with real property negotiator pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8. The agency negotiator, the city manager, Patrick Martinez, or his designee. The negotiating parties are the City of Needles as potential seller and Columbus Drive LLC as potential buyer of property described as an area of 1,353 square feet, which includes an 8-inch sewer easement located on 2701 Columbus Drive. The APNs listed in the agenda under negotiation were price and terms. There was no reportable action taken on that item. And that concludes the report out from closed session.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Campbell,
Here.
McCorkle,
Here.
Merritt,
Here.
Jernigan,
Here.
Hoag,
Here.
Belt,
Here.
Long Break.
Here.
Okay, we'll all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll have the invocation.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group as we nurture the bonds of community. We thank you for our city, for our elected officials, for the trust bestowed upon us, for the businesses, the churches, the families, the individuals, our visitors, and our surrounding communities that all help to make our city of Needles the great destination that it is. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And approval of the agenda.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Hoag,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Long Break.
Yes.
And do we have any conflict of interest?
Oh.
There were on
Yes,
closed
is there
session, but
any-
they were already dealt with.
Okay. Correspondence?
And then, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Introductions. Tonight we have Commissioners Mike Schneider and Terry Campbell from the Utility Board. Thanks for coming. Prior Council, Zach Longacre and Tim Terrell. Thank you. City Attorney, Parliamentary Procedures.
Yes, according to the rules of procedure adopted by the council, the mayor or presiding officer is responsible for the maintenance of order and decorum at all times. No person should be allowed to speak who has not first been recognized by the chair. All questions and remarks should be addressed to the chair. A council member once recognized shall not be interrupted while speaking unless called to order by the presiding officer. No member shall be allowed to speak more than once upon any one subject until every other member choosing to speak thereon shall have spoken. Public members attending council meetings shall observe the same rules of order and decorum applicable to the council. And just as a reminder, the council can only address items that are on the agenda, and public comments limited to 3 minutes per person.
Thank you. As a courtesy to those in the attendance, we would ask that cell phones be turned off or set in their silent mode. Thank you. Public appearance. Persons wishing to address the NPUA City Council on subjects other than those scheduled are requested to do so at this time. When called by the mayor, please announce your name and address for the record. In order to conduct a timely meeting, a 3-minute time limit per person has been established by Municipal Code Section 2-18. Amendments to the California Government Code Section 54950 prohibits the city council from taking action on a specific item until it appears on the agenda. Presentations. Oh, we have any? Zach,
Yeah.
sorry.
down your screen.
I know. We can
Don't have
see
to
you.
Scream at us
Good-
anymore.
Yeah, good evening, council. I'm not here to rant or anything. That time of year again, we do Turkey Drive, my company
Mhm.
does. I got 25 for a non-op already, and I got like 45 turkeys to hand out. And this year I'm doing a little different. I'm looking for needy people. I'm gonna deliver them Saturday.
Okay.
It's got an open invitation on my social media. I've only gotten about 10 takers so far, so
Mm,
if anybody knows,
Okay,
free turkey for the needy. Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Tina,
Tina McGee Scott, 910 Bailey here in Needles. Um, reminded me of the turkeys. Needles Community Partners, I don't know if anybody knows who we are, but we are here. And this is a group that we put on the party for Christmas. So I don't stand alone. They stand with me, but they wouldn't come up here. So we're here to thank the city for their support, participation. We appreciate it. And our group also have 120 turkey baskets we'll be giving out this year.
wow, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great. Okay. Presentations, a 10-minute time limit per presentation has been established per municipal code section 2-18. Update on the Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center and for information.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council. Just wanted to give you our normal quarterly update. And you will notice there's a little bit of change in the numbering. It may sound like it's gone down, but with our rearranging of the contract, kind of taking out the chamber details, it does make it look like less has been going on. So when you hear that, don't panic, but that's what's happened. So over the last quarter, we've handled 43 calls specifically for the visitor center. Some of those are people that are coming to visit and wanting to know what's here to do. Others have called to thank us for being there, which I was really surprised on that one. And then some of it is as we've been working to develop the visitor center further along. We had 112 emails specifically for, again, the visitor center. We had 91 visitors, and we've had them from 17 states here in America. 9 countries have come and visit us as well. So we're still the spot people want to come to when they're exploring Route 66, which is something I think we'll be working further on because of the fact that we're getting ready to start planning for the centennial for Route 66. That's going to be one of those things that we'll want to make sure that we are very well have something. And so I look forward to working with the council and the city on doing some form of a celebration that we can work together as a team to celebrate our history of Route 66. Something that started this quarter is that we've actually started selling souvenirs. And since the beginning of this quarter, we've sold almost $400 worth of souvenirs, t-shirts, keychains, magnets, shot glasses, and a couple other little memorabilias that we've had there at the chamber. So we're real excited about that and looking forward to that expanding as we go forward. I mailed out 5 different packages over this quarter to people that are looking to move here to Needles. And, or there was 4 moving, and then 1 that was, we're coming to visit, what do you have? So I will put together the package of the different tourism things that are around the El Garces, the packets I get from Needles Tourism to get those out there. And then I really kind of push on if you want the best tour, you want to be able to do the full hour tour that Mike Thornton gives. And I'll brag on the fact that, his grandmother was one of the Harvey girls. And everyone really seems to be excited about that. They're like, oh, really? It's like, yeah. So when you have the time to go do it, you need to do the full tour. So kind of going with that, I did 26 short tours, usually about 5 minutes long, going into that next room and being able to see the pictures of the El Garces in its glory days and talk a little bit about it. And I can't do the justice that the Thorntons can, but I repeat to them, it's like, next time you come into town, you've got to make sure that you save at least another hour so that they can take you on a real tour. And in fact, there's going to be a tour of approximately 48 people that will be coming in March that are going to be wanting to do. They're going to be coming in to tour the city, the El Garces, the museum, and just the general area. And so we've been already coordinating with them, and I've been getting them all that information. So we are really actually starting to get some positive in the visitor center. We actually had we were able to host the book signing for Rebecca Wyatt, Wellett, and that turned out quite well for her, being a daughter of Needles. So it was real exciting. And then last but not least, tomorrow night we are hosting a mixer / ribbon cutting for our new Santa who is coming to town. Tomorrow night at 5:00, we're going to have a combination mixer as well as ribbon cutting to welcome them, and another company as well. The Santa's going to be there, and we're going to have pictures for the kids. So make sure you let everyone know, bring your kids. It's not going to be any type of alcohol. It's just going to be hot chocolate, hot cider, and potentially coffee. And this time, if there is going to be coffee, I'm going to make sure it's there. Oh, and there was a few people that were at our last breakfast. I did want to explain this. There was just a mix-up when it came to the coffee. Jolted was making the coffee for us, but she got tied down at the store and she couldn't get it over to us. And she has a brand new phone number. So I got a text on my phone, but I was busy with the breakfast, so I kind of didn't pay any attention to it. It was Ashley saying, I have the coffee. I can't get over it. Can you send somebody out to get it? So she feels really bad that she didn't get the coffee to the breakfast, and we want to make sure that you guys knew that there was something a little bit more to it than just somebody just falling down on the job. Other than that, any questions for me, or we move on? Thank you all.
Thank you. Interview to fill the vacancies on various boards and commissions due to the expiration of terms and resignations. Staff report.
Yes, Madam Mayor, and members of the council, in front of you, we've got numerous applications for the various vacancies that we have. We've seen the candidates out here today, so you can go ahead and interview them if you'd like. There's 5 different commissions that have folks that have applied, and so there's vacancies on each one of them, at least 2. And so at least we'll be able to fill them at least partially with the folks that are here today. So we want to start with the Board of Public Utilities. Mr. Michael Snyder, who served on the board for over 10 years, has reapplied for one of the 2 vacancies. And so he's here. If you want to call him up, you can.
Sure. Okay, Mike Schneider.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you have any questions for Mr.
Mike?
Snyder? He served on the board, presently serves on the board.
I make a motion to appoint him to be on the board again.
I'll second.
Sorry, I forgot
Oh.
my hearing aids.
We're
I'll
approving
second
you.
it. We're approving you.
Yes,
We're
we're approving you to
I'm
be, on.
sorry.
We're approving you to
Oh,
be on the
okay.
board.
Thank-
And,
thank
and
you.
you're, and you're very effective on
Usually
the
I bring
board.
'em, Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Hoag.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Long break.
Yes.
Thank you.
So the next individual, Mr. Kevin Osby, so the planning commission has two vacancies. Mr. Kevin Osby has applied his applications in the packet. He's not here tonight. Basically, Mr. Osby has a desire to reapply. He's been an active member. He's a member of the construction community. He's got rental properties in Needles, Parker, and Oregon. And he owns historic houses in Albany and Oregon, and he wants to continue to contribute to our city. So if willing, he would fill one of the two vacancies. The other vacancy, we're actively advertising for. It was just recently vacancy by the chair, Linda Kidd. You'll be recognizing her at our next meeting, in January. But that's the other vacancy that's on there. So my recommendation is to approve Kevin Osby as a planning commissioner.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Hoag.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Long break.
Yes.
So I'm gonna move to the cemetery advisory and come back to the Parks and Rec Commission, because there were some applications that were submitted to the board after, so I'd like to, after the submission date, so I'd like to come back to those, but the Cemetery Advisory Commission, Mr. Larry Ford has applied for the Cemetery Commission and the Housing Commission. Both are vacant, there's two vacancies on each one of those. He is here today, so if you want to ask any questions, come up to the podium.
Martinez.
Yes.
We also have Kathleen Rockwood who put in a late application for cemetery
Or
board.
cemetery and
Oh, perfect.
And
both of them.
also put in an application for the house.
You want to?
Okay, so let's do, well, okay, so we've got Mr. Larry Ford, who's applied for the Cemetery Advisory Commission. There are two vacancies on that position, so we'll do these one by one. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be on the board?
I'm on the cemetery board at present time. I've been in Needles since 1958, and I've done public service since 1958 in the city of Needles, and in all kinds of different departments. The fire department, I started out in 1958, ended up being captain in the fire department, and I've done public service in Needles ever since, along with the sheriff's department under Captain Tar Engel here, and on the city council. Too many things to mention.
30-page resume.
Yes.
All right, do you have any questions?
So, yeah, I just have one. What do cemetery commission members do?
We just oversee the operations of the cemetery itself.
Mhm. That's it. Huh?
Everything from lawnmowers,
Yeah.
maintenance,
We're
anything.
just dying to get in there, so.
And-
You'll help us get our fence back up on Pioneer.
Yeah, there's
Cemetery.
two cemeteries. Are you managing that?
Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
Two
The
cemeteries.
Pioneer Cemetery also.
Yes, I was interested in the Pioneer Cemetery. I've been here since, like I said, I owned the Mojave Valley News. I started the
Mhm.
Mojave Valley News in 1966. And we ran articles on the Pioneer Cemetery, and it's just downgraded since then. And right now it's a mess. I don't know if you've been up there lately, but the
Yesterday.
headstones have been turned over, there's been
Okay.
gravestones have been stolen, the fence is down. Four-wheelers are going up and down the hill and tearing it up and causing erosion. So it's a real problem right now. And these are pioneers that came to Needles long, long before us.
I went yesterday. Kathy took me up there yesterday with our cell phone flashlights, and we climbed the hill and we went through it last night, and it'll be nice to move forward in taking care of some of that.
Just put the headstones
the-
back up
get
that
the
have been
fence-
kicked
the
over. It's been
fence.
vandalized really
The
bad.
fence needs to go back up.
It's too
All right,
bad.
so do you have any more questions of
No.
Mr.
Mm-mm.
Ford? If not, we will go to the next applicant. There are two vacancies. And so we could interview both of them.
Thank
then
you.
we could do a motion for both. If you wanna
Okay.
Reappoint both, and you can do one by one. Let's get everybody heard first.
Sure.
Madam Mayor, City Councilman,
Yes.
City Manager. I moved here in 91 with my then 3-year-old daughter at the time, and I met Ted Rockwood, and he's a big history buff in Needles. If you mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys know my husband. And so I've always been interested in it. And like I said, Larry showed me that cemetery up on the hill, and I took Ellen up there last night. She almost killed me, but I was just heartbroken when I saw it. Not, you know, and I love this community so much. I've raised my daughters here, and I think I raised pretty good kids in this town. And I think the town had a lot to do with my children being the people they are today. And I'm glad one of them came back to live in Needles, you know, and start her family here. But I just want to do public service, and I think that out of the boards, that would be the best jobs that I'd serve the best purpose at. So let you guys decide.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve.
Oh,
For interrupting.
I'm
There are
sorry.
2 vacancies on the cemetery commission.
right.
That's what I was
However,
addressing.
1 vacancy on the housing.
Yep.
So I didn't know if you were voting for
Okay.
both of
No.
them.
What do you do the cemetery?
Cemetery.
Cemetery.
Okay.
have any questions?
I make a motion to approve Larry and Kathleen for the cemetery advisory.
I'll second. Oh,
Call for the vote.
we're all seconding it.
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Pogue.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Longbridge.
Yes.
Now on the cemetery commission. There's 2 expiration of terms. There's one that expires in 2026 and one in 2027.
Oh, it doesn't
matter
matter
which
which one.
Who would you like to fill the 2026 slot?
Flip a coin.
With a coin?
Flip a
I'll let him
coin.
flip- I'll let him flip a
I'd
coin.
like to. Oh.
Have,
that?
well, Larry got it first, so just have Larry do the December 2026 and Kathy do the December 31st, 2027.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, let's go back in order since we've got these vacancies that need to be filled and we've got multiple people that want to do them. So Parks and Recreation Commission, we do have an application by Mr. Sean O'Brien, but there were also other applications that were provided.
Correct. I have one for the factory maker and Ashley Ubetro.
Okay, so we're gonna hear from all three.
Okay.
There are only 2 vacancies available, so
Mhm.
tonight we'll be selecting 2 folks.
All right.
So Sean O'Brien, will you come up first and then?
Hello, council. My name is Sean O'Brien. I own a house at 308 Chestnut. I've been a proud resident of Needles for the past 5 years. When I first moved to the city, I was a real estate agent, and I still currently have shown many people properties in the city. I'm all about promoting Needles. I love it. I'm all about its growth. I've worked for the tribe. I currently am employed with Vista Colorado Elementary School in town. I work with children with special needs. And for most of my adult life, I've been a social worker working with children with special needs. I am a former trained reserve peace officer for the city of San Mateo, and I currently actively work with our local police department identifying hotspots around town. I walk everywhere. I list, locations of crime, and I think our city has grown a lot in the few years that I've been here. And I'm proud to say that I feel like I've been a tiny part of that. I faithfully served on the board last term, and I think I had a great attendance record. And I'm all about Needles, and I will always support this town and the residents of Needles first. And I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
So next,
Zach.
next we received an application from Mr. Bong.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Application for Parks and Recs. I believe recreation is one of the biggest attractions the city of Needles has. And people come here 8 months out of the year for our river. Something I'm interested in. Something I'm interested in is parks, park design, adding more parks to our city. As experience, I cleaned up First and Second Beach over a couple years, cleared a couple beaches at Jack Smith Park. I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city of Needles to grow. And I think it's I resurfaced and refaced a 20-year-old skate park and made it a new attraction. Something I'm interested in, so I think I have the qualifications for it. But that's all I have to say.
I got a question for you, Zach.
All right.
This is a statement from you. We have an election year and you want another 4 freaking years of me? Keep it up. Maybe I can make it happen. Do you plan on running for city council?
Maybe.
Okay. So if you were appointed to the board, you would just be appointed for a few months and then you'd run for council
If I ran for council.
if you ran for council.
Yeah, that doesn't say I'm running.
Oh, it doesn't say you're running. That's just a comment you said. So it is a possibility you're running for council.
I like how you watch my social media. You-
Yeah.
may not.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
know, not an election year yet.
Thank you.
We shall see.
Ashley?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I'm Ashley. I live in 1001 Lily Hill Drive. Let's see. I applied for Parks and Recreation because we utilize the Parks and Recreation. I have 2 little ones here with me today. And we have friends and family that also utilize the Parks and Recreation. I would just like to contribute all of the helping hand that I can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Any big questions?
Yeah, how long have you lived here?
I actually grew up right next door.
Uh-huh.
I was born here.
You was born here?
I was born in
Did you live in Mojave Valley for a while and
lived
then
in
you came
Mojave
back?
all my life.
Yeah.
I played softball here, Craig's, since I was 7 to 14.
In the parks, obviously.
Yeah.
Were you on one of the championship teams?
Yes.
Awesome.
It was fun. I want my kids to experience that. Yeah, it was really great.
That's
We enjoyed
awesome.
it.
So you have a big interest in Parks and Rec?
Yes, definitely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so of the 3 applicants, we need you to select 2. So a counselor would make a motion and then we'd need a second.
Call
Right.
for the motion.
Motion. I nominate Sean and Ashley.
I second that.
Well,
We can just do one at a time.
Yeah, it should be one at a time. And the reason it should be one at a time is because if somebody supports one of the candidates, it's like a compound question, right? They may support
I
one.
nominate Sean O'Brien.
I second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell,
No.
McCorkle,
No.
Merritt,
No.
Hoag.
Yes.
Belt.
Dang. Already been on, right? I don't know. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Yes, he's been on the board already, correct? Is that wrong?
Yes,
Yeah.
he has been on the.
And attended all the meetings?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Freaking-
a lot of the meetings. I don't.
Is that a yes or
know
no?
Yes.
Jennifer, that's a yes.
Yes,
Okay.
he's been on.
Henry?
Yes.
So the mayor breaks the tie.
Mayor will break the tie.
No.
Right now, the next applicant, we'll do it in the order that was presented. So Mr. Longacre.
I'll nominate Zach.
Second,
Second it.
call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle,
Yes.
Merritt,
Yes.
Hoag,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Long Break.
Yes.
Okay,
The last applicant.
last applicant.
I nominate
call
Ashley.
Oh, okay. Second,
I'll second.
call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
McCorkle,
Yes.
Merritt,
Yes.
Hoag,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Long Break.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
All right, the last vacancy that we have, the Housing Commission is basically, there's 2 positions at that. There's an at-large. And then there's the tenant over 62. We have no applicants currently for the tenant over 62, so that vacancy will remain. We have 2 applications for the Housing Commission. We've got Mr. Larry Ford, and then we got Mrs. Kathy Rockwood. And so we're gonna call those applicants up. So which one would you like to call up first? Ma'am?
We'll call up Larry.
Questions?
Okay. Any questions for Larry? Nope. Oh. Okay, thank you.
We just wanted you to get out.
Everything I said
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting up and sitting down.
Yeah.
And then the next understood. So we only have one applicant. currently.
Okay.
Withdrawing.
Oh.
She doesn't
Oh,
want, she
okay.
doesn't want to be buried there.
Okay.
Miss Kathy Rockwood is withdrawing her application
Okay.
for the
Okay.
Housing Commission. So there's only one vacancy and there's only one candidate. So we need a motion in that
I
second.
move to approve Larry.
Second,
Second. And call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Pogue.
Yes.
Yes. Longbridge.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be reaching out to those that were appointed tonight and congratulations. Thank you.
Okay. Sean, for your service.
Yes, thank you.
Public comments pertaining to the NPUA council items. A 3-minute time limit per person has been established. NPUA council consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. The mayor or any member of the NPUA city council may pull an item from the consent calendar for discussion. Prior to NPUA council action, a member of the public may address the NPUA city council on matters scheduled on the consent calendar. A 3-minute time limit per person applies. Recommended action: approve items 3 through 4 on the consent calendar by affirmative roll call vote. Motion,
I move to approve.
I second.
call for the vote.
Member Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Pogue.
Yes.
Belt. Yes. Longbridge.
Yes.
Thank you. Isn't the mayor?
End of the NPUA consent calendar. Regular NPUA council items. Appoint to a downtown decorative lighting holiday wreaths ad hoc committee. I would like to be appointed on this committee. I have a business downtown, and through the planning of the general planning for the downtown, I was a real proponent in the downtown section being dignified that way. Rainey.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of councils. In front of you tonight is to appoint an ad hoc committee for, we're calling it the Downtown Decorative Lights / Wreath Committee. The wreaths and the decorative lights were installed in the mid 1990s. The lights themselves, the structures have been hit multiple times by vehicles and non-replaceable, and the wreaths are just falling apart. They were spray painted this year. They're very labor intensive to install. So we'd like to put a committee together that can review multiple different options, look at budgets, and then make a recommendation. I do want to point out the Board of Public Utilities also appointed, so it will be a joint ad hoc committee as we're looking at some a significant financial cost for this project. So really love it if you'd like to be on the committee.
I do.
Your Honor, I would like to be on it.
Okay. And who else wanted to?
Another person.
And then Jamie. Okay, so it'll be myself, Ellen, and Jamie on the committee. Do we need to vote?
I'll
A
make a-
motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
Oracle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Pogue.
Yes.
Belt. Yes. Longbridge.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Adjourn the joint MPUA council meeting and convene a joint HACN council meeting. Call to order previously taken. Public comments pertaining to the HACN council items. A 3-minute time limit per person has been established. Public hearings, notice to consider HACN resolution number 2023-59A, resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Needles removing and replacing the admissions and continued occupancy plan ACOP and adopting HUD Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing VASH and housing opportunity through modernization Act sections 102 and 104. Staff report.
Yes, Madam Mayor, members of the council, in front of you. So let me go back in time. So the city of Needles took over the housing authority or assumed the role of the board of commissioners for the housing authority earlier this year. At that point in time, there was a housing commission that was inherited that had rules and procedures that were outdated since 2018. So we got Angelica here as part of the, she manages the housing, the public housing authority. So she worked closely with Miss Elizabeth, who's on the line. Basically, we've been very fortunate enough to apply for a grant that would get us technical assistance through HUD, and Elizabeth is there on the line. And so basically, we're very fortunate enough to get the assistance from HUD, to get the funding through HUD, to be able to update our policies and procedures. So what you have in front of you are 3 different exhibits. The first exhibit is the admissions and continued occupancy plan. 2, the exhibit B is the Veteran Affairs Supportive Housing. And then C is the Housing Opportunity through Modernization Act, HOTMA 102, 104. So the first one, A and C are closely connected in the fact that they're basically eligibility requirements and guidelines for our housing authority that are necessary, that are basically cookie cutter from the federal government that are required for us to adopt at our local level at our housing authority. And so we recommend approval of those exhibits. But in addition to that, as you recall, Mr. Daniels a couple months ago talked about veterans. It's called VASH, Veteran Affairs Supportive Housing. City had received 30 different VASH vouchers. At that point in time, we were not able to implement those VASH vouchers. So we've accepted those 30, but we got an extension until May to be able to implement. And so this team that you have on the line and in front of you worked diligently to get all 3 of these policies and regulations updated so that A, we're in compliance before the end of the year, because that's the timeline, at the end of the year. And so they worked really hard and diligently. I want to commend their efforts in getting us our policy and procedures. You are going to see an annual plan come back next year that has tier 2 requirements that are needed basically, but these are the ones that keep us out of trouble that need to be adopted by the end of the year. If you have any questions, both Angelica and Elizabeth are able to respond to any of those, but our recommended action is to approve resolution 2023-59, which is removing and replacing the ACOP that's currently in place and adopting the HUD Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing and the HOTMA sections 102, 104.
I have a question. The veterans voucher, is it similar to what Bullhead just experienced by, essentially kicking out, they revoked the vouchers on apartments for 30 veterans in Bullhead City. So is this the same kind of thing? If the rent is higher, they're going to be back out on the street again, or?
So Arizona and California have different regulations.
Mhm.
Arizona, they do not have a rent cap. California does.
Okay.
And as well as Arizona can pick and choose if they choose to accept a voucher or not on an application process.
Mhm.
California does not have that.
Okay.
So California still has to accept applications no matter if they're on a subsidized program or not.
All
And they
right.
have to go, the tenants have to go through every regulation, just as if you're not on a program or not. Their application process has to be fair
Okay.
through Fair Housing Act. So the difference between across the border is Arizona. We are California.
Right.
So that will limit those types of things happening because we do have a rent cap. They can't go from like the example was in that article from 700
Mhm.
to 14. We're not able to do that.
Okay.
We are only able to do 10%.
All right.
So that will definitely eliminate a lot of that percentage, right?
Okay. I just don't want to see us go through the program and then, end up doing that 6 months, after.
We also have where we can work with the landlords on other items such as instead of a year lease, we can cut it down to a 6-month lease
Mhm.
or a month-to-month lease. That is, as we put it in our regulations as well and our policies, procedures, so that we can work with the landlords a lot easier. And that will work for both sides of the tenant and landlord in case of, anxiety, whatever different
Right.
purposes that someone may have or and then we also work with our local VA representatives in the town and our regional area. So that's more of a social worker,
Mhm.
and we work hands-on with them. So we're in
Okay.
communication with them on a weekly basis. If there's anything that's in need, then we have our community services and support team to try to eliminate some of those
Okay.
obstacles and barriers.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have a question, Ron?
Yes.
So in this Exhibit B, supporting housing implementation policy, can you explain where we're at with the actual implementation? I mean, now that this is done, are we in a position where these vouchers are now ready to be
May
handed
1?
out?
May 1 for the VASH.
Day one?
And
Okay.
we'll be able to administer. So again, I'm already working with our local VASH representatives, all the way from San Bernardino, Loma Linda, to our local regional representative here for Nation's Finest.
Okay.
So we are setting in place and getting our ducks in a row, already starting on working for eligible participants. And
Thank
so
you. Thank you very much.
we're
That's really
working
exciting.
forward with that.
And additionally, we're putting together a community meeting to bring forward developers that are friendly, that are going to be VASH family friendly. And so it's a requirement of the program as well. So in March, we've got a tentative date. We're not ready to share it yet because he needs to talk with those partners. But look at that third Wednesday of March to have a meeting where we bring together all the different stakeholders. Because as I mentioned to some of you, basically VASH is more than just housing.
Right.
It's a social work program, and we're providing veterans, the Veterans Hospital connection with health benefits. Then we're tying in the housing, so it's a whole process to which folks are getting a big bang for their buck, and we're so thankful that we've got those 30 VASH vouchers. That it's the first time in the city's history. So we're just
Well, and it's good too. We've got veterans clinics in Laughlin, Nevada and Lake Havasu City that I know a number of the veterans in Needles go to. Yeah.
So we would invite all those folks to the meeting.
Right.
And get everybody excited about being a participant in our program.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. It's more of a clarification than anything else. On Exhibit C, they're talking about the maximum family assets of $100,000. And obviously, if you have more than that, you're not in the program. But on the next page, it talks about determining if the family's total net family assets are equal to or less than 50,000. So was there an increase in the maximum from 50 to 100? Or what's the difference between, I know it's $50,000 difference, but is there intentionally 50,000 as opposed to 100?
Okay, so
Second page.
So if you continue to read forward, then long story short, I suppose, is more of we have to determine what is the asset in the first place, and also how they're using the assets and if they can break it down. We also have where they have up from 12 months to 24 months to from that point on, if they do get to 100,000, to reconcile or even go down. If they even go down for one day, then it starts all back over again. So it's a long process. I know it's a confusing process, but on our end, we do annuals. So once a year, or if their income changes, they have to report their income or asset changes as well within a certain time frame. It's 10 calendar days. So we're always on constant hands-on with income and assets. At that point, when we determine what that may be, it can change the very next day. I mean, they can show what they spent their money on or did not. And we have a criteria literally of like, oh, if you bought a car or if you bought jewelry, or I mean, it comes down to what the actual receipts are, then we can determine from there. So it's anywhere between 50, 100,000. Once they hit 100,000, then they go on that 12 month and to 24 months, and then it goes back again when it goes down. So, I mean, it's a constant, it's
So,
like playing with stocks.
so is it fair to say that the 50,000 is kind of the yellow light? That once they hit that, we
Right,
kind of
correct.
watch them because they're getting closer to the 100?
Correct.
Okay.
And then we monitor it. So it's constantly
Okay.
monitoring.
So it is intentional. It's not.
Right. If they do come on program, if say they're an applicant and they reach 100,000, then at that time we put them back on the list.
Okay.
But if they're already on program, then we do the 12-month and 24-month. So it just depends on which part of it is on which side.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay,
I
any
know,
other
it's-
questions?
That's only one thing.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Thank
you. Now we'll open it to public hearing. If anybody in the public has anything to say about it or questions, you can come up. Okay, thank you. If not, public hearing is closed. Council discussion for it. If not,
I just recommend to approve the recommendation action for 2023-59.
I second.
call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Jernigan.
Oh, yes.
Hoag.
Yeah, yes.
Belt. Yes. Longbridge.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your really good information on
Thank
the
you.
veterans. That was very important.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Adjourn the joint HACN council meeting and reconvene the city council meeting. Roll call was previously taken. Public comments pertaining to the council items. A 3-minute time limit per person has been established. Council consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. The mayor or any member of the city council may pull an item from the consent calendar for discussion. Prior to council action, a member of the public may address the city council on matters scheduled on the consent calendar. A 3-minute time limit per person applies. Recommended action: approve items 7 through 9 on the consent calendar by affirmative roll call vote. Anybody have anything about 7 through 9?
I
Okay.
move to approve 7 through
Second.
9.
Oh, 7 through 9. Second,
Second.
call for the vote.
Councilmember Campbell.
Yes.
McCorkle.
Yes.
Merritt.
Yes.
Hoag.
Yes.
Belt. Yes. Longbridge.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. End of council consent calendar. City attorney report.
I have nothing to report this evening.
Thank you. City clerk report.
The limited report. We've been doing a huge amount of printing for the earlier session today, so we've killed a fourth. Ongoing records request, the new zoning ordinance, there's a few questions that are being asked and responded to get the package on the website and complete. Agenda management, we're geared up to launch all departments January of next year. It's a learning process, but we'll get through it.
Thank you. Okay, city manager.
Yeah, briefly, you've got my manager's report. It's part of the packet, but I just want to highlight the great work that Tina and her crew did. They had 60 vibrant vendors. They had 50 folks that participated in the dance tracks. They had the tree lighting was great. We brought the members of the community out. Next year we'll get more out there. And then there were 28 entries in the holiday parade, which is fantastic. And so it was pretty well-attended event. And, the members of the community, Emma appreciated going on her first float ever. So that was fun. Basically, we had a couple groundbreakings. So again, we're going to start inviting members of the public out to our groundbreakings.
Oh, nice.
I think it's important that they understand what we have going on, but with the pump track at Duke Lockins, the work's being done there. It looks great. Down at Jack Smith Park, the city's got its first walking trail, so that's fantastic. And then we also got to do a photo shoot over at the Bear off of 5 Mile Road. So Caltrans is almost done with that project. Additionally, I want to introduce you to Kathy Roush. Kathy Roush is been with the city for almost a year now. She's our project manager. She'll be wearing a new hat in the city as an interim development director. So she will be overseeing engineering, planning, building, and code. There was a vacancy in the position, and so Kathy's going to step in and assist. We have a lot of exciting projects that are coming forward with a couple hotels, couple track map, couple parcel maps. So we're really excited about that. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you. I just want to jump on about the Christmas event. It was really wonderful. It was nice to see all the vendors. It was nice to be out there with our community and visiting with people and, you know, people laughing and visiting and up and down the streets and children everywhere and watermelons galore. We had so many watermelons. Like a little overbridge. There were a few of them we had to pick up off the street, which was unpleasant, but it was just so nice. It was really a beautiful event. And thank you to everyone. And we know it's extra heat for our law enforcement, so thank you to you too. You know, it's a lot more to watch over, you know, babysitting the personalities in events like that. That was it. Okay, so one of the things I just want to go officially on record is I want to have something done about the fence at the Pioneer Cemetery. It is on the ground and it needs to go back up to prevent or at least thwart, you know, locks on doors and gates, keep honest people out. So at least thwarting, and then looking into something to keep the RVs off that hill. Well, whatever we have to do to keep off-road vehicles, motorcycles, or whatever it is, you know, that are going up and down that hill, eroding it. I mean, some of you were here and a lot of you weren't when all the bodies came out of that hill when it rained and there were coffins and skeletons on the ground. It was really rough. But eroding that hill like that is not going to help that cause in preserving our cemetery. And it was very beautiful at one time, and we can still preserve what's left of it. That would be nice. I also would like to take whatever steps necessary to move forward to start the project. It doesn't have to be done this year in 2023, but moving on painting the electric boxes around town, having local artists painting all of ours. We've been talking about it for a year and I'd like to get it started. So whatever steps we have to take to start implementing that program to do that. And then also talking about murals in the underpass in California. So it's kind of like if you've ever been to Elko, Nevada, they have murals all over town and they have walking tours where they take someone from tourism and they go walking around town and talk about the different murals and what they mean, why they're there and what they mean. So it'd just be an added attraction to our community, but I'd like to have some dialogue about that. And other than that, we don't meet again this month. So Merry Christmas to everyone. God bless you and your families, and we'll have a happy new year and we'll see you next year.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy.
I don't have a whole bunch. I do want to praise everybody who was involved, all the different entities that helped put that parade and the whole day of festivities on. It was amazing as always. Perfect weather for it. Something that I know me and my family look forward to every single year. I'm not sure if this is a go on the record thing, but I guess it would be. I've had 2 people reach out to me actually the day of the parade. It followed the accident that happened up there by the towers. That it's California passed the law to be able to ride the razors onto the road or off-road vehicles, just to see where we are at since it's become available through state law to see where the city's at with allowing that to happen or designating trailheads or however it's working out. Just to have a briefing on that. And if we haven't started anything, if it's up to us to start it, to get that moving forward a little bit going into the new year. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
I just wanted to also piggyback and say thank you for everyone who helped with the downtown Christmas. It was a wonderful day. And also to our committee who helped with the employee Christmas party. You guys did a great job. It was a really nice event and very awesome. I had a bunch of stuff. I forgot the other stuff. Okay, well, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Counselor Pogue.
Okay, yes, I enjoyed the holiday event too, although I was stuck in Palo Verde College all day selling baked goods, but didn't get a chance to really experience it as everybody else did. But the Christmas tree lighting was nice, and so it was all in all a good day. Just a couple of items. The old Denny's on J Street, I'm not seeing a whole lot of progress in that. Do we have what's going on with that? Can we get that? Will they be getting done?
That's an update. But basically, they've been cited numerous times, and so we're in the process of going through the administrative process with them.
Okay, because yeah, that's really an eyesore and it needs done. And then I don't like to be the sprinkler czar, but I received a complaint today that the county their sprinklers were on all day. So I know we're not in our hot weather yet, but we don't need to be watering our lawns for 8 hours at a crack. So, and I just want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, stay safe, enjoy your holidays, and thank you for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you, Councilmember Bell.
Yeah, I'd like to get a visitor center meeting back up again, ad hoc committee. We need to keep that going. I want that. I want the marijuana spreadsheet tax logs so we can keep that updated on where everybody is with their taxes. I want to officially ask Caltrans if we can get a Vista Point out there at the Bear so we can have direction to pull people off so they can actually do pictures safely.
Jim Grant mentioned that
Um,
they're going to do that.
Correct. I want to push forward on that one.
Yeah,
Let's
he mentioned that. Yeah, once
Correct.
they got the lights done.
correct.
Yeah.
That's why I want to stay on top of it. I want to also we need to thank our commissioners when they run, and like Sean didn't get it back on, but we remember this is a volunteer job and often we don't get anybody to run. So I'm going to kind of feel like we need to say thank you to them. This would be a nice way to remind people that we're not bullies. We want you to run and we appreciate your time and effort because nobody has to do this. So I really appreciate them running, taking their time out of their day to come and give them a thank you and appreciate. I mean, this is a tough job. Come up here making these decisions for these cities and thanking people for everything that they do, because this can be a lot of your time, personal time and effort. Sorry, lost my phone there.
There will be a certificate given to him, just so
Perfect.
you're
No.
aware. Yes.
And also Santa got to come visit Vista. I want to thank Warm C, the Sheriff's Department, San Bernardino County Fire was there. Bullhead Fire came down, our Bullhead Police came down. Fort Mojave was there. Serenity was there. Lots of good people just showed up to just volunteer their time and give the kids a little handout of packet of some goods and see Santa for the day. So it was really a nice, fun event. And that's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Longrave.
Yeah, the parade was great. Parade was great. The events before that was awesome. The employee appreciation dinner too. That was really good. And thank you for bringing all the ornaments and decorations and stuff. That was awesome. You had so many. That was great. And I want to thank the San Bernardino County Sheriff Department too for the Shop with a Cop on Saturday with the Mojave County Sheriff and Search and Rescue. We combined together and we did Shop with a Cop up there. And at that Walmart, I did Fort Mojave. And that's always good for the kids. They love that. They love that. And I took Tundra, of course. And the kids always love that. And this Saturday at KTOX radio station is going to be a listener and Christmas appreciation day from noon until when the food runs out. So if you want to come to KTOX radio station on Saturday, all the food you can eat, bring your kids, bring everybody. Thanks. That's all I got.
Thank you.
I forgot to mention.
Oh, yeah.
You can do it.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, I want to remind everyone that we still have angels available at the sheriff's station and at City Hall.
Yes.
There's, so you can grab these. I grabbed a boy and a girl, and you can delight another child's life that, isn't as fortunate as us, and pick someone and supply their little gifts for Christmas. So they're still available. We don't want to have any of these back on the tree. We want to get them all gone. So if it's in your heart, or share it, put it on your Facebook, remind people to go grab something off the angel tree. Thank you.
By Friday.
By Friday. By Friday.
Turned in by
Yeah.
Friday.
Okay, thank you. I attended a few things the last month. I did speak at the Women's Club Small Business Luncheon, which I appreciated their work, and it was a very nice luncheon. And I did mention, the prior, most of the businesses in Needles downtown are women in business. And the prior women in business, I won't mention, their names. I won't take up the time. But we also had Seroptimist and BPW, and those women did amazing things. They did Duke Watkins Park. We have to be thankful for that. They did the museum. They started the thrift shop, which supplies the museum. And then they were just so generous in scholarships and sponsoring many of the recreation centers. So through the years, there's just been a tremendous support of women in business for Needles. Patrick and I met with Karina Tamayo. She's the Governor Newsom's representative. We spent like about 2.5 hours with her, took her around Needles, showed us our needs, showed us the water projects that Rainey's been in charge of. So she did really get good insight of Needles and what our city does need from the state. I also attended the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority workshop. And the workshop was in regards to a 0.5% sales tax, which is already in place now, but they need to continue it just because the cost of building highways is so extreme, so expensive. And their main project right now they want to work on is Cajon Pass. And the city of Needles, we have benefited from this tax, and they donated to our bridge remodel over there, and then also to Highway 95 going up to Laughlin. So Needles has benefited from this tax. And it's important this tax continue because we need people here, tourism on the weekend in 4 to 6 hours from LA, not 10 to 12. So what they're trying to think is maybe do an express lane up there. And they're also talking about the bridges from Barstow, the wooden bridges from Barstow to Needles to help with Route 66. So it was really nice. And they had a surveyor that had done surveying. And I was glad Patrick mentioned about opening up when we do a groundbreaking to the public, because his main thing was that when he talked to taxpayers, they didn't understand this tax. They didn't understand that Cajon and a number of the 10 freeways down there were getting expanded because of this tax. So what they want to do is the same thing that we're doing. They're going to call the board to go down when they've gotten a freeway done or when they're going to do a groundbreaking, just so that, the taxpayers know where this money is going to. And I'd also like to thank for the holiday party for the city employees, Ellen, Joanne, and Ton. It was very nice. And also the holiday fair and parade was really nice. It's so glad and heartwarming to see that we're continuing traditions. And then also I'd like to thank Grace Hecht, Pastor Case, and IEHP for that produce pass out we had a couple of weeks ago. It was so good. And actually, Patrick and I met with Grace Hecht and IEHP. They are going to set up a schedule for produce for Needles. It will be on a like every 2-week delivery. It's kind of there, and then whatever's left over here will go to St. Vincent. So plenty of people in the area can be fed. And then also Bing Lum was there, so we did speak about our medical needs here in Needles. And then also I attended SCAG, and SCAG involves it's Southern California government, counties of Imperial, Los Angeles, Orange, San Bernardino, Riverside, and Ventura. Their theme for 2024 is Connect Southern California. And one of the speakers was Hassan Icarda. He is the CEO of San Diego Association of Governments. And I was telling Patrick, I was explaining to him, he had a roundtable of contractors, and they would not build a subdivision with him because the regulations are so outrageous, the costs there, and the average price. San Diego now in California is the most expensive place to live. Their average home now is $1.6 million. So and I was talking to other cities, especially about this, and they are all experiencing this. Needles isn't the only child now going through this. And then also San Bernardino County had the lowest labor market recovery. We came back really fast from COVID in transportation and warehouse. And then healthcare also is extremely experiencing growth in our area. The only negative thing that San Bernardino and Riverside County, we were lumped together, was retaining higher education. The people with higher education are leaving our counties and going elsewhere. So what had happened, it's prohibiting us from attracting higher businesses, higher paid jobs. So they're trying to set up programs to retain more college graduates in our area. And that's all I have. And again, Merry Christmas. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you so much.